Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Sandpiper Pest Control. My name is William Tiller, and of course, I am joined by the good folks at Sandpiper Pest Control. Let's introduce them here. We're joined by Joel Stout and Ryan Fernandez. Ryan is the lead technician there, and Joel, of course, is the president of Sandpiper Pest Control. And guys, today we are talking about mosquitoes. How are we doing today?
Doing good.
Doing real good.
That's awesome. And tell me a little bit about this mosquito problem that we're having, and what can we do about this?
Well, we're in mosquito season now. April, May, June seem to be, and through the summer. And so people want to be outside, do gardening. They worry about their pets, dogs, and mosquitoes can make life miserable.
Yeah. And in particular here, we have a few different species. There's something like 3,500 different species of mosquitoes, but here in Florida, we have two main species, the Aedes and the Culex. And the Aedes mosquitoes in particular are container breeding mosquitoes. So those are the ones that are usually found in urban areas around households. And I mean, they can breed in something as small as the cap from a water bottle. So they become a real problem.
Yeah, and those two are at the top of the list. University of Florida has actually identified 90 different types of mosquitoes in Florida. But the two Ryan mentioned are the disease-carrying ones that everybody is on alert about.
Yeah,
Absolutely, guys. And, we're all here to talk about these mosquitoes. What can homeowners do to maybe remedy this problem, or as you were talking about, Ryan, to cut down on some of these issues that they might be having with mosquitoes?
Yeah, I mean, trying to eliminate conducive conditions as much as possible, not having standing water or, empty containers full of water, or empty tires. That's a real big one. In fact, that's how one of the mosquito species was actually brought here from Asia, was in used tires that had water in them, and they had the larvae in there. So
Port of Jacksonville is where that happened.
So trying to make sure that you eliminate as much of that as possible and make it as uncomfortable for mosquitoes as possible to not be able to breed around your home is one thing that you can do.
Yeah, you don't want to make it comfortable for mosquitoes at all. That's not something we want to do here.
Yeah. And a lot of people will look eye level around their yard and lower, but even gutters are, if they get clogged with leaves, hold water, they can be a mosquito breeding problem.
Absolutely.
So look up too.
And look up too, absolutely. And guys, let's talk about pets, because pets are always out in the yard. They're always doing their thing out there. What can we do to maybe keep our pets safe, or can pets even be affected by mosquitoes?
Absolutely. Remember, the female mosquito needs blood to reproduce. And so the females are the only ones that bite. The males don't. So she needs to get her blood from wherever, prefers humans, but they will go after dogs, rabbits, things like that, and no babies.
Yeah, so they're looking for our blood, trust me. And yeah, when it comes to pets especially, and they can't always tell you, hey, I'm getting bit by mosquitoes. They might just be sitting there and they look a little annoyed, but there are definitely things that we can do as a pest control company to help protect your property. Like I said a bit in the original opening, basically making it real uncomfortable for them to be there.
Talking with Sandpiper Pest Control today, talking mosquitoes here on this episode, guys. And we just talked about how to reduce mosquitoes and dogs getting affected by these mosquitoes. And does the county spray mosquito programs work? I know we kind of talked off air a little bit about what the county does. Now, do these actually, we see the trucks all around. We see the big smoke plumes going around as well. Do these actually work, help reduce the amount of mosquitoes out there?
The initial answer is yes, they help. But the problem is the two that Ryan mentioned, the Aedes and the tiger mosquito, they have habits different than most mosquitoes in that they buzz around and fly around in the daytime. So when you do a mosquito spray, mist, fogging, you're targeting their resting areas where they lay during the day, which most mosquitoes do. But these two are active in the daytime, so you can spray and mist, and they're out, not home, not resting. So you kind of miss them. You do get the other mosquitoes, but so they help. They kill mosquitoes, but it's should really be done at night.
Yeah, and it's really just an adulticide. They're spraying a product that is getting rid of the flying females, but we have products that target not just adults, but also the larvae as well, larvicides, and it's one product that does both of those, which is pretty awesome.
That is awesome, and you talked about standing water and all these things. What can the county do for areas that flood? For instance, my neighborhood that floods a lot, and there's a lot of that standing water out there. Will the county come out and help reduce that mosquito population that might build off that standing water, or is that sort of just a private homeowner sort of thing?
My guess would be it's a homeowner thing. The
right.
county has limited funds,
right,
and things, but there are things that are safe that you can put tabs in the water and stuff to eliminate larvae or kill larvae and things like that. Absolutely.
And guys, is it true, talking about these mosquito programs and how to keep mosquitoes away, there is a difference between male and female mosquitoes. If you guys want to kind of briefly talk about that, I didn't even know there was a difference between the two.
Yeah, as Joel brought up in the beginning, only female mosquitoes need a blood meal. They're the only ones that actually bite warm-blooded mammals. The males actually just eat nectar. So in some areas, they're actually considered a pollinator, similar to a bee. They do the same thing.
Huh, so they sort of just fly around from person to person, anything like that. So
we're not giving mosquitoes a free pass on that.
No.
So what do male mosquitoes do then? Is it sort of just like you kind of hold it down for the female mosquitoes, or how does their life cycle sort of work, being a male in the mosquito life?
Much simpler. That's you get to eat tasty nectar and mate, and that's pretty much it. You're good to go. Pretty
much the life of a male mosquito. Yeah. Look at that, guys. And it's all the traditional diseases that we know about from these mosquitoes, the West Niles, all the Zika virus a couple of years ago as well. What are some of the other diseases that mosquitoes might carry, being a blood-borne insect carrying different things around?
Well,
go ahead, Ryan.
Malaria is the biggest one.
Oh, yeah.
Really. I mean, I read a few things about this, but it talked about how mosquitoes, pound for pound, are the deadliest creature on Earth. They've killed more humans than anything else. Nothing even comes close. I mean, even recently, I read some numbers. I think it was in like the high 600, 700,000 people die each year from malaria. So.
Wow. And that's all just from mosquitoes and not doing that prevention.
Malaria is only spread by a very specific mosquito, one of the Culex mosquitoes. That's the one, when the county's spraying in those salt marshes with that fog, that's the one they're going after, is the one that carries malaria, because that is, one of the more dangerous ones.
Now, go ahead.
And there's other diseases too, chikungunya and encephalitis, unique to certain mosquitoes, but like you mentioned, the West Nile and the Zika are on top of the list that everybody worries about. I pulled up a little fun fact here that maybe can put people's mind at ease a little bit. It says, if bitten by an infected mosquito, so not all mosquitoes are infected, the chance of a person developing an illness that the mosquito is carrying is roughly 1 in 300. Therefore, the chance of being bitten by an infected mosquito and developing disease symptoms from that bite is very small. So should be a little bit of comfort in there, and not be afraid to go outside at all.
Absolutely. I know some people are afraid to eat outside or do anything outside because of mosquitoes. I know down here in Florida, that's a huge thing. There's bugs outside. I don't want to be outside. There's mosquitoes, all that stuff. And now we talked about some of the diseases that could be caused from this. Now, we sort of talked off air as well as some of the reactions people can have from mosquitoes as far as those bites go, or very sensitive to these mosquitoes. You guys want to kind of briefly talk about that as well?
Well, there's some people that seem to attract mosquitoes and other people that don't. My wife Lori and I are opposites. I don't know if it's because I'm a furry fella or not, but I rarely
Get
get
a force field, you get a
That's
protective
it.
layer.
once in a while my ankles, but when she's outside, if there's a mosquito, it finds her.
Yeah.
And we get asked the question, why some people, why not others? And there's actually been research done on that. And a couple of things that seem to attract or not attract. I'll go over the small list here. One is body odor. That mosquitoes are attracted to intensity and composition of a person's body, which is influenced by many factors: skin glands, pH, metabolic rate, body mass, respiration. Also, we give off carbon dioxide that attracts them. Body heat can be something that they tune into, sweat, things like that. So I've been told that horses don't have a problem with mosquitoes. An old farmer told me this, and it's because they have oily skin, so it kind of repels them. So I guess that's where some of the products like DEET and stuff like that come in.
Yeah.
So if you don't want mosquitoes around, keep a bunch of horses around, because it sounds like that's a good repellent for those mosquitoes. And lastly, guys, before we head on to break, most of these people that are listening along here live in residential neighborhoods. They have neighbors, they have people around them. What should people do that, maybe possibly use your services or use other mosquito retracting, options out there? If they're treating themselves, what should they do if a neighbor's not doing the same thing?
Well, they should still do something. Mosquitoes travel, I think it's about up to 2 miles.
Yeah, they're pretty strong flyers.
Something like that. And so if you don't do anything, you're going to remain with the problem. If you do something on your property, usually it's quarter acre, half acre, you're going to get results, especially with the Indicare product that we'll talk about here, because it kills mosquitoes. It keeps them from developing into stuff. So your neighbor may have some benefit from your treatment too, but for me, I'm just looking at my property and my wife's peace of mind. So I'm going to do what I can on our property.
Absolutely, and that's a good segue into our next part of Sandpiper Pest Control. We'll be right back after a message from our sponsors. This is Sandpiper Pest Control with William Tiller, Ryan Fernandez, and Joel Stout.
Enjoy Riverside Theater's Comedy Zone, where the comedy is wild, untamed, and downright hilarious. Come out this Friday and Saturday night at 6 and 8 p.m. for the Treasure Coast's best live stand-up comedy show, featuring nationally recognized comedians with cabaret-style seating and food and drink table service. Warning, you may laugh until it hurts. Kickstart your evening with live entertainment, food, and drinks at Live in the Loop. Buy tickets at riversidetheater.com and get ready for a night of non-stop laughs.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats and chairs in all the latest styles and colors from Tommy Bahama, Lexington, Hooker, Riverside, Universal, Four Seasons, Braxton Color, and Capri. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have hundreds of styles of any patio furniture you need, including a gallery of Berlin Gardens and Bollywood. We specialize in fire pits, outdoor rugs, umbrellas, and replacement cushions. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Family owned and operated since 1991. Don't forget to visit our outlet store directly across the street, filled with lots of name brand closeouts and sale items. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Sunshine Furniture, the best in every way. Have a sunshine day. Sunshine.
Paris Family Chiropractic understands after a long day in the woods, tracking and hunting, your back might be crying out louder than a call to the wild. Paris Family Chiropractic specializes in back, neck, and shoulder pain relief, carpal tunnel, disc injury treatment, headaches and migraines, sciatica treatment, and so much more. Get back to your prime hunting form. Visit ParisFamilyChiro.com and schedule your appointment today. Paris Family Chiropractic, Vero Beach.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Sandpiper Pest Control. It's been an awesome episode so far. I am, of course, joined by my guests, Ryan Fernandez and Joel Stout. And guys, before we went to break, you were starting to tell us about an awesome product that homeowners can use to keep these mosquitoes away from their homes.
Yeah, it's a service that we offer, and was developed in Europe, I believe Sweden, and it's called IntoCare. And it actually uses the female mosquito's habits and how she goes about her life against her and turns the tables on her. And Ryan is really an expert with our IntoCare.
Yeah, so the way this works, it's considered a biocontrol. And a lot of the industry, the pest control industry, is moving towards not using traditional pesticides as much, but trying to find different options. And this is an example of that, where it's actually a fungus that is inside a netting. So you can see in that little picture, there's a bucket there. Inside of that bucket, when you fill it with water, the IntoCare comes with a little sachet of, it's got a little netting that fits on a little ring, and it's got 2 little tablets that fall in there that are an attractant. But the way that it works is real simple. When the mosquito is flying around, they create a positive charge. I always get these things mixed up. They're positive. Any bug that flies creates a positive charge. When it lands on the netting, the netting has a negative charge with all the fungus on it, and that makes it stick to the female mosquito. Similar to how bees fly around, they land on a flower, they're positively charged, the flower's negatively charged, and the pollen just jumps right onto their body. Once the fungus is on them, it doesn't happen right away. It's not a quick knockdown. It takes about 5 to 7 days for it to fully kill the mosquito. But talking about how it uses the biology against itself, that gives time for the female to land on other little water sources, because you won't really ever be able to empty out every single water container around your yard. And maybe your neighbor has stuff on their property that you don't have access to fix. But when the female lands in those, like bromeliads or a little planter that has water in the bottom of it, they infect that with a fungus. And now the larva that she puts in there will not be able to hatch and become adult mosquitoes themselves.
So the kill is twofold.
Yes.
Where the larvae are in the treated water in the IntoCare bucket, and they die. They never make it to life. And then the female is actually spreading the product where other mosquitoes will land too.
Yeah.
You want to hand me the bucket?
Okay.
I'll hold it. So this is what the buckets look like. Usually a property will have about 3, maybe 4 quarter-acre property, and it's just water goes in. It creates a environment that mosquitoes like. It's dark. There's water in there, and so they don't need a second invitation to go in. And once they get in there, these need to be somewhat in the shade. And like I said, 3 or 4 around the property, and then we come monthly and check the water supply and what's inside here, if something needs to be added or moved or whatever.
Now, fellas, you did have a video you wanted to show regarding this product. I'm going to go ahead and start it for you here. That way we can kind of watch it together. Now, this is just, we'll get it going here in just a second. But this video here is going to show folks at home sort of what we're going for with this product and how the benefits that can, how it can work for them. And we'll jump to it right here, guys. We'll check it out. This video here that we're talking about. And you see it right here, how it protects the home. If you guys want to kind of explain what the technician's doing here.
That's the technician. You can see putting it in a nice shaded spot. And you're going to see the female come in there. And we're going to zoom in and be able to see what happens on the inside of a trap. I believe it's going to show, she's leaving. So now she's going to go and go to a couple different areas. Yeah, see there's a little pail. Now she's basically spread that fungus from the IntoCare bucket originally into that, and now that's become essentially a death trap for. Oh, and there's the look up. So you got to look up.
Gutters.
Anywhere that could have water. So realistically, most homeowners aren't going to be able to keep everything completely dry. There's always going to be some areas that they can habitat, but the nice thing about the Into-Care is that it basically does a lot of the work for us without having to spray, necessarily a bunch of traditional pesticides around.
Or fogging.
Or fogging, yeah.
Which we offer as well. Sometimes that's an answer for a unique problem. But the video shows the happy family being able to be outside, have a picnic in the swing set, and
everything's good.
And we won't ever promise you won't ever have a mosquito, but they are significantly knocked down. We have many people that say once they start the Into-Care program, they're really pleasantly surprised that they can go out, do their gardening. The dogs aren't getting bit anymore, and so we have time after time testimonials how well it works.
Yeah, it's a really good product.
Now, talk about how fast it works as well. We do have this time-lapse video to where people can actually see how fast this product can work for them. As you guys can see, the clean water and the treated water. What are we sort of looking at here with this video? So
that obviously the clean water is just regular water that hasn't been treated, but you see right away within a day or two adult mosquitoes larvae turning into mosquitoes getting trapped there in the top. But in the Into-Care, even 4 or 5 days in, nothing's come out because it is a larvicide. Not only does it kill the adult females, but it takes care of the larvae too, which is the best way to control mosquitoes.
So the treated water, the larvae die and they float but they drop to the bottom.
That's actually one of the ways in the class that I took that they talked about when you're doing the inspections to bring a flashlight and shine down in there, and you can actually see the pupa floating on the bottom dead, and that's how you know that it's working, it's doing its job. If not, then maybe sometimes you got to move it around, put it in a different spot of the yard, but yeah, it works great.
Now, Ryan, you are the self-proclaimed expert at Into-Care home system products. How do people go about getting one of these through Sandpiper Pest Control, and what is the process like of getting one installed before we wrap up?
Yeah, just call us at the office. We'll set up we have a couple different options for different scenarios. And here's the thing, too, to remember. There are certain homes that maybe aren't a great fit for Into-Care. If you don't have a lot of landscaped area, if everything's in the sun, that's not going to work. And if it's close to a body of water where it's going to dilute it and it won't work quite as well. But we'll come out and assess that. We can do some spraying and knockdown first and get everything set up so that you'll be mosquito-free in the summer.
And guys, go ahead, Joel, I'm sorry.
It is safe for children, dogs, pets. Everybody's safe. For the most part, dogs, you worry about them knocking it over. We have more problems with raccoons knocking it over than dogs.
I do have raccoons get in there all the time.
Oh my goodness. Well, guys, it has been an absolute blast here on this edition of Sandpiper Pest Control. But if people wanted to reach out to you for those services, how do they go about reaching you? Telephone number, website, that sort of thing?
Phone is 772-589-0204 and sandpiperpestcontrol.com.
All right. And Ryan, same thing with you. If they wanted to reach you directly, is there any way to do that, or there's the same number and everything?
Yeah. That's the best way to do it. And we can do it in real time. People can put it right in. The order comes in, we'll head right out to your house pretty much that day usually.
Perfect. And is there any kind of like emergency services with pest control, or is it sort of just like as needed basis?
There is. Not usually with mosquitoes unless someone has an outdoor event coming up. Usually the emergencies are rats, roaches, bed bugs. That's more the emergency stuff.
Ooh. Sometimes mosquitoes can be an emergency, though. All right, guys. Well, once again, thank you for watching along with us here at Sandpiper Pest Control. For my guest, Ryan Fernandez, Joel Stout, we want to wish everybody a great day. We want to appreciate you watching along. We'll see you next time here on Sandpiper Pest Control.
Thank you.